obediently and usefully. Our great Nigeria is possible. Our great Nigeria is very possible. For better infrastructure, for better life, yeah, my people. For better roads, yeah, for better hospitals and health, yeah. For light today, for everything to work for us, for Nigeria. Yeah. No more hunger. Obi for better Nigeria. Obedient and usefully. Obedient and usefully. Oya o, Obi kereke, Hausa man, Yoruba man, Igbo man, Middle Belt, Niger Delta. Let us come together for better Nigeria. For better life, yeah. For better health, yeah. For better road, yeah. From consumption to production.
Again, good evening, everyone. I said I was already dancing and dancing myself out. I didn't know that my microphone was dancing with me, and the microphone also went out of connection. You know, so it's indeed nice to see every one of us this evening. And once more, I say I welcome you to Njenje Media TV, and my name is Mazes, okay? And today is the 4th of October 2022, and the time now is 14 minutes down the hour of 7 p.m. So today I will be looking at something and many questions you people have been asking. Many of you have been saying regarding the P2B movement or regarding Datti movement. What is the VP in the person of Datti Baba-Ahmed? What is he doing? And if you know, rather than tell you what he's been doing and what he is not doing, we would allow to get to see what he is doing, and he will say that by himself. Chris George is saying, can I add a number for people to call in? Of course, when we get to that, we will, but today's is going to be slightly shorter. But don't forget to join me on Friday, because Friday is going every week, my Friday hangout. Friday hangout where we discuss about the things happening in the week. Okay, so please try and as much as possible to join me on Friday, because I'll be having my Friday hangout. So everyone, now two things happened. One is the Emilio Con and the Baptists. They had their rally. I mean, give it to them, impressive. But one thing was that the people that came for rally, they were conveyed in coastal buses and brought to Lagos Island, where they had to do their rallies. Quite different from the organic nature the other side is having, which is that the people raise 50, 30, 20, 10, 100 nairas to do their own thing. But be that as it may, kudos to them, because it was indeed a successful rally. Aside, something that I must talk about happened in Lagos on on Saturday, a boy called the Peter Obi flag bearer. Many of you may have seen him. He carries the flag, Labour Party flag, all over the place in Lagos. Story has it that he was stopped at Oshodi. The APC chairman in Oshodi local government with his thugs, they beat him, poured petrol on the photographer about to light him up. If you go back to Njenje Media, I think Njenje Media on YouTube and on njenjemedia.com published the story. So either way, it's either you go to YouTube to watch the story, or you can go to njenjemedia.com, you read the story. Therein is also the link to the YouTube inserted in that story. And I have reached out to the young man in question. I may, if everything works out, I may have him either tomorrow or Friday to join us and speak with us. Okay, but be that as may, I stand to condemn that act. Everybody has right to campaign for whoever they want. The APC, I will say the same thing. If anyone in the Southeast disturbs the APC to campaign in the Southeast or South, that will be condemnable. And no one should, is also in the same vein, disturb anyone to contest or, campaign in any other place. That is not something that must and that should not be encouraged. So, people having said that, then we may have to get the ball rolling. Once more, I condemn the act of violating the right of a Nigerian. His crime is that he is campaigning for someone. That should not be a crime. Now, but let me quickly go to the campaign done by the Tinubu, women support. In this case, I would want to go to Arise TV and get OG Okbe to actually tell us more. Then I would now have to add my own comment on this. OG.
Sanwo-Olu Hamzat organized a canvass support for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his running mate, Kashim Shettima, as well as for the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat. The solidarity exercise saw a mammoth gathering of women from all walks of life, including Nollywood actresses Joke Silva and Koluka Daramola. The march comes on the heels of Joke Silva's inclusion in the women's wing of Tinubu's presidential campaign council, which featured other Nollywood actresses. Nigerians on social media have shared mixed reactions over the veteran actress's support for the APC flag bearer. Let's take some tweets. This is from Mercy, who wrote, "If Nigeria was her company, will she give it to Tinubu to manage for 1 year with the type of CV he submitted without credentials to back up his education? She lived her life and really didn't see the damage the Buhari administration did to us." Well, Daniel wrote, "Joke Silva supporting the APC shouldn't be a big deal. She's fighting for her self-interest, and insulting her won't change anything. So put your time to good use by marketing credible candidates that can help fix Nigeria. Talking is one thing, but action speaks louder." Well, another tweet there goes, "A few random thoughts on the ridiculous attacks Joke Silva is receiving. One, most of what's happening now reminds me of what happened in 2015. People believe JEJ was the devil and Buhari our savior. And back then, if you supported JEJ then, you too were clearly a demon yourself. Our candidates are not divinely appointed. As supporters, we are not more patriotic or exceptional. If David can support Atiku, P Square can support Peter Obi, Joke Silva can support Tinubu. There is no moral high ground here, just a scorched egg crusade that destroys society's fabric." Dr. Abati, over to you on your thoughts.
Okay, I thought I addressed this earlier on the program when I made a point that every individual.
Okay, now before Ruben Abati takes a go on this, I must also state my own part here. And I know many of you won't like it, but hey, it's, part of the job to inform and to educate the public is to consistently speak on those things you believe in, those things that you have conviction upon. And that's my conviction, is that no one, no matter who you decide to support, should be attacked or cajoled by her choice of, supporting a candidate. Bear in mind, this is a wife to Olu Jacobs. It could be that Olu Jacobs, who is sick now and very frail, you never know the engagement and maybe financial support that Tinubu probably may have given to her or to the family. Maybe, I'm not saying that that's the reason why she's supporting it. But again, my point here is that she has the right to support whoever she wants to support. In 2015, as of 2014, I did not support Goodluck Jonathan for obvious reasons, because at that point I thought, man, this guy is not acting fast enough in the interest of those that he ought to act for. But as the as he convened the national conference, and I took my time to read the national conference report when it was released. I could not forget that because I still have a copy, watermarked by Premium Times. As of that time, after reading the content of the 2014 Confab report, my perception and my, ideals changed, and I began to throw my weight around Goodluck Jonathan on the basis of the content of the 2014 report, that if he gets elected, that he would then begin to look into getting, obviously, that report actioned. That was all. That was all. Now, I do not know what Joke Silva, no one knows why she is doing that. But again, the avalanche of negative comments that I've read is unnecessary, people. It is not needed. The energy and the vibe is too negative. To a point, I think she has to disable her Instagram comment section because of the level of things and the vile posts people are posting to her. And bear in mind, she is also a woman that is undergoing a lot at the moment. Her husband, that many of us grew up knowing as a legend, Olu Jacobs, is not entirely in the right place. Therefore, please, I plead with us that some of you, those that may hear the sound of my voice, that have or still planning to say anything negative, please shut your sword. People do have their right. The same way I condemn those that attacked the flag boy in Lagos, is the same way I am speaking against anyone also attacking her. The flag boy in Lagos has every right to move around Nigeria campaigning for whoever he wants to. It is your right. You see, what makes us better human beings is our ability to stand for what is right, irrespective of who that is going to affect. Could be your enemy, it could be you, it could be me. So we'll stay on track, people. Okay? So thank you. Let's hear from Abati.
Has a right to make their choice.
Yes.
The people who are insulting Mrs. Joke Silva, Mrs. Joke Jacobs, as she's otherwise known, I think that they are missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
She has every right to make her own choice.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it's noteworthy that she herself went on Instagram to post the pictures of her support for the APC in Lagos.
Maybe condition to be
referred
get
to the old girls of Holy Child College, the secondary school that she attended, and showed herself with Mrs. Ibijoke Sonwo-Olu, and even tagged the post, women working for support for the APC. Every person has a right to choose. You have just your PVC. Who you vote for is your business.
It's your business.
The second part of it is about, the fact that people are saying, oh, because she's choosing the APC, she has committed an offense. She has not committed an offense. Okay, she's a celebrity. Celebrities can endorse. Some people were asking for her husband's whereabouts. that why did she leave her husband at home? I think that's very insulting. Really? It's sexist. Okay? Nobody asked when male members of Nollywood support their candidates. Nobody asked for their wives.
But it was a woman.
Exactly. When you look at this now, guys,
this was a women's thing.
It's just like what Ruben Abati just said now. When you look at this, you would also understand that yesterday, the 40 million MB launched in Lagos to raise money for the campaign of Peter Obi. And there, which we streamed live here on Njenje Media TV as the partner. And therein, you had Clint the Drunk, you have Mecca Rollers, you have Mama G for General, the very funny Nigerian, comedian, or rather film actress. No one questioned those that came yesterday in Lagos. Another one is going to be happening by next week in Abuja, and afterwards either Plateau, Kano, Jos, and Port Harcourt. It is their right to decide to say, we are supporting Peter Obi not on ethnic basis, but because they truly believe that he is a competent person. The same way Joke Williams or Joke Silva have the right. She has the right to also.
It doesn't even matter. So why drag her husband into it and say she should be at home with her husband? She has distinguished herself in her own right. And she's not the only female member of Nollywood who has made a choice in this whole process. Oluke Daramola, whose name was also mentioned, she is supporting the APC. Her husband, Kayode Salako, is one of the supporters of the Labour Party. And she herself has come forward to say, no, her husband can make a choice. She too can make a choice. Nobody should say because you are a married woman, you must make a choice or you must be approved by your husband. And I hope that people will just lend themselves common sense. All the people losing, their hearts, misbehaving, on social media and abusing people. You do more damage to your candidate when you make enemies for them. You are not the candidate. Your job should be to make friends for your candidate. But, talking, things that don't make sense, sabotaging your candidate with your own shortcomings, I don't think that's the way to go. So I don't see any problem with women working, either for Asiwaju Tinubu or working for...
Well, here I think my good friend Ruben Abati is trying to be very disingenuous here. I wouldn't sit down here and take that. I think Ruben is trying to play smart and drag certain candidates into this conversation, insinuating that the comments are coming from certain quarters. Now, these are Nigerians that have made comments. They have aired their views. Some of us find those views abhorrent. Some of us don't like it. Some of us do not agree with them. Some of us believe in the universal justice taught to us by our ancestors, which in my mother tongue is called Biri Kambiri, live and let me live. When we talk about equity, fairness, and justice, to be fair to all, if you have 6 items to share and you have 6 geographical zones, why don't you share them equally? So if someone wants to wants the right to do A, B, C, let that person do it, not because that person has some ethnic inclination or because that person is of certain sexual orientation. No, we all are human. We all have rights, and we all make our choices. In this case, the woman in question, she made her choice and pitched her tent. In 2015 and 2019, some of us said, do not vote for Buhari. He's going to crash the economy. There was an avalanche of insult on some of us. Today, we know who is right and who is wrong. And those insults then, we also called on, no, you do not need to insult someone for saying he's not going to vote A and B. The same way we are saying today, we must not allow people to go ahead with those insults. However, the angle slanted by Ruben Abati, I think I'm going to call him out here, that angle must and should be resisted. You said that when people make such comments, they are bringing themselves, or rather, they are bringing discredit to their own camp or to whoever they are supporting. Ruben, their own candidates are not the individuals that have sent them to go type and say whatever they do. And if you go to her Instagram where these things happened, no one identified themselves with any party A, B, C, or D. They were all Nigerians, majorly youth. Therefore, insinuating and saying that these individuals are of certain, insinuating that they could be of certain party, it's disingenuous and a bad taste. I just want to put that out there. Okay? So Will says, but Ruben didn't insinuate that the derogatory remark emanated from any political group. I can play that again if you want, so that you hear what Ruben Abati said. I mean, I'm not. Let me, for the benefit of, because this is a community where we can always learn from each other. Let me play that again, please. You hear clearly what Ruben said here.
When you make enemies for them, you are not the candidate using, their hearts misbehaving, on social media and abusing people. You do more damage to your candidate. When you make enemies for them, you are not the.
You do more damage for your candidates when you make enemies for them. It is a very clear insinuation. This is English. We cannot use English to interpret English. This is what we call context and content analysis. This is clear insinuation. You do more damage too. He's insinuating that these things could harm candidates of those writing, not of those being criticized. I mean, I don't know how else. Let me play that again, please. Wills, listen carefully.
You do more damage to your candidate when you make enemies for them.
You do more damage for your candidate when you make enemies for them. And Nigerians who are writing and insinuating this, that many of us, myself included, are saying, no, this is wrong. Some of the comments and some of the wordings are wrong. Are they from any party? Are they from any? So why the insinuation of candidates here? Oh, come on, we
you are not the candidate. Your job should be to make friends for your candidate. But talking, things that don't make sense. Sabotaging your candidate with.
Wales, I hope you heard it. Sabotaging your candidate. I think the insinuation is, in my view, that's more than enough for me to understand. There is an adage in our place that when you're winked at and you don't understand it, if they also do nto to you, you may never also understand it. And I leave it at that, people. Okay, I'll run quickly because I have another meeting coming up. I've been told that I need to round up. I have another meeting coming up also shortly. So now the second part is what I said at the beginning. What is actually what is Datti Baba-Ahmed actually doing in the North? Then let's ask this question and let him tell you what he has been doing in the North. And here is Datti Baba-Ahmed to say that himself.
Of course, there is no way I will ever join APC. Reluctantly, I joined PDP, which failed to learn its lessons. culminated to when I was contesting governorship in May this year, and things I don't want to say were happening, and I simply withdrew. So we are not from that system at all. We're a break from the norm. That's the way to put it. We're a break from the norm.
Breaking from the norm has almost never really favored politicians, especially at the federal level. But let me ask you this, linked to that. Would you say that the Labour Party has broken into the North?
Yes. When I joined Peter Obi's ticket, I ran into a brick wall. Craftily, brick by brick, I disassembled that brick wall. Behind it was very tough soil. I have softened the ground. In my pocket are very strong seeds that I am planting those seeds, and they are growing very fast.
In the North?
In the North. And that seed, those seeds that I'm planting are those of awareness. I'm in the business of creating awareness. That is education. The four allegations, wild allegations against my principal, all I need to do was to turn the barrel against the fire of the arms. There is not even a single picture in the whole of Nigeria, not a single one, even with some reward, that they can show you of anybody made to wear an ID card. Come on. Not even a single record in any morgue or police.
Now, for those who do not understand what he's insinuating here, or what he's trying to clarify, you know, there was this trending misinformation, that during the time P2B was the governor of Anambra State, that he made Northerners wear tags, he made Northerners register, he made Northerners do XYZ. That is a fluke. That is a lie. That never happened. You know why? In 1964, in 1966, after the coup failed, before the outbreak of the war in 1967, at some point, after the counter coup, the Igbos, or the people of the eastern regions, then were meant to wear cards all over the country, including Lagos. Now, having suffered that as a means of discrimination, that you have to wear a card for people to identify you, that obviously within a nation that you are from this ethnic stock, it would have been an aberration and the failure of teaching history to the upcoming leaders for anyone in the 21st century to begin to implement such policies based on ethnic inclinations. However, when we talk about census and inability of the Nigerian state to conduct proper census to know the number of people that are in this nation, I have many times criticized the state government as well for their own failure in conducting state census. Because nothing says a state of Lagos, state of Anambra, state of Kaduna, state of Katsina, state of Jigawa, state of Bayelsa, state of Benue, or Adamawa, Taraba. Nothing stops them to actually conducting genuine census to find out how many people they have in various local governments in order to help them. If Nigeria were to be a working nation, actually, that's the way we should be doing it. Then people will aggregate that. I once on this platform told us that a people that may not actually need to have census are the people of the Southeast. Why? Very simple, because every single person in the Southeast has what they call Umunna. And the Umunna is in English, is the family meeting. And in this family meeting, every single person is known. If you go to my Umunna today, my kids are registered. So if you get a register today, you can say, this is Jonathan Ezoke, and this his lineage. He has 8 children. This one has 3, 1, da, 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 da. So if you do a tabulation by family, kindred, you would get an authentic figure, irrespective of where they reside. Whether they reside within or outside Nigeria, this figure is there. So what he's alluding to here is that P2B has been, or sorry, in that fake video and fake audio, that he was accused, and that he, during his time as a governor, was given northerners tax, and he said that he has been able to debunk that because there is no record to show. I mean, why would there be any record to show something that obviously is fake?
Station. Not a picture of any mosque being destroyed. I was so diligent, having heard those big allegations. I went round, had people go round. Can I just have one evidence to the fact of this? None. So I broke that brick wall. I became a victim along the way, to the extent that some people tried to set me up against powerful religious bodies. But of course, by Allah's grace, it failed. When I stated that I simply want to be known as a Nigerian in the context of 2023 elections, a very proud, respectful, decent Muslim, Hausa Fulani that I am, done everything I can do for my religion. Yet, because some people think they have their ways with propaganda, felt they could set me up against. I suffered a bit, but it failed. In the same way, those allegations against Peter Obi failed. That was a brick wall. Going into the north, who has suffered religious bigotry in the whole world? The Muslim Ummah in the north. Take Katsina State, take Zamfara State. I'm not criticizing anybody. Who have suffered insecurity? They did. What was the bidding done in 2015? Religion and ethnicity. Well, now, please wake up. It is the era of competence.
You see, as Wills said here, which I would share, I would encourage everyone watching on this platform to go to Channels TV. I would share the link as well. The link is now being shared here. I would encourage you to go and watch this video. The title of this interview, watch the full interview, is Baba-Ahmed. It is a mistake to think Obi has no grounds in the north. That interview was published today, and that interview, for the first time, when they talked about, in this interview, he talked about also what he's going to do within the security sector. So it is one of the convincing interviews that we would wish other people. But again, these days, whatever you say, some people will tag it as violence. There are people who are cycling in London, they are cycling, and the cycle that they use are meant to be plugged in, but maybe if they plug them in, their leg might fly off. But this indoor cycling machine is not plugged on. Some of you are even zoomed and say, no, look at the socket. This is Nigerian socket, the way it looks. I don't know. And some of you have gone to say that this is old video. Listen, people, let's cut the chase. The bottom line here is that he said he gave account of what he's doing, where he has suffered, and also what he has done to debunk most of these things that happened in the north. So let's quickly have a listen more, then I'll refer you to the full video.
And the people are feeling it. I assure you, no Christian regime will ever reduce the number of prayers Muslims are to pray, or the number of days in Ramadan. Nobody will do that. Go and pray all you want. Fast all you want. We're happy. Pray for us. My Christian friends say, please pray for us. And vice versa. Nobody will touch your religion. And look, that some sect, some group has an agenda. Good. What is wrong with having an agenda? Have yours. Companies have agenda. Small organizations have agenda. Why shouldn't an ethnic group have an agenda? It's legitimate. They have a plan. Good. Is the plan to kill anybody? No. The plan is for them to have certain infrastructure, certain universities, certain banks, certain key appointments. This is quite legitimate and honorable.
You're a politician. You have won elections in this country. You will understand politics at the lowest level because you've represented more constituencies. Since you say that there's some the level of awareness has been improved, does this go to say that those who say that the Labour Party lacks the exposure in the North to even get up to 25% do not know what they are saying?
They don't know what they're saying. And listen, awareness has been very high in the North. What happens is that Northerners tend to listen more to the politicians, and the politicians tend to have more impact.
You know, when on this concept of awareness, when people say, oh, the North is not aware, they say, you know, sometimes many of us in the South, we think we are actually sometimes more informed than the North. Very mistaken. Because sometimes when you see them, or even rather most times when you see them having like small radios, listening all the time. Someone is talking. It's not music. Someone is talking. They are listening. Us, we can have our earplugs, whatever we do, we listen to music. Many of our youths don't listen to radio, normal radio. Tell me, when was the last time you probably listened to? We'll get into the car, we'll listen to CD. We'll get into this, you know, we'll get into your car, depending on the car you use, it connects to your iPhone, your Spotify comes on, boom, your favorite tracks comes on. That's it. You Zoom, somebody calls you, hand-free Bluetooth. You know, if you spend 3 hours on the road, certainly and most likely, the only time you may have to listen to radio if there is an interruption based on traffic announcement. But aside that, you think you are more informed than someone who consistently listens to radio. Now, the question is, as he rightly said here, the content of that message that is being passed across
on the populace in the North. Awareness is pretty high. And whoever thinks that Labour Party or Obedient Movement or Peter Obi as an individual now is not being welcomed in the North, they are making a huge mistake.
Indeed.
I went to greet one of our elders, and this gentleman came in with all air of arrogance to say that, oh, you'll get a lot of experience in this contest. And I thanked him.
Underestimation.
And I said, the first advantage you give your opponent is to underestimate him.
Exactly.
I want to be fully underestimated. I want Peter Obi to be fully underestimated by the so-called master politicians, the owners of resources, the owners and masters of structure. We're nothing. He's just a businessman. I'm just an educationist. I'll leave them to go and get experience. Let's go. I'm not confident.
You're not confident?
I'm realistic.
Are you even more realistic now when you look at the polls, the two polls that have been conducted in the past few weeks, which gave the Labour Party the lead over the established political parties?
I was elated by those results.
So those of you watching and you haven't liked or subscribed to this platform, by all means, please do. There is something happening on YouTube in the last couple of weeks and months. It's called viewer suppression algorithm. They are suppressed. I don't know why. I don't know why. We haven't done anything, but our views are being suppressed. So please, to help us beat that, can you like, share, and subscribe to this platform? The back end information tells us that over 46% of you that keeps coming back are yet to be subscribed, but you keep coming back. What does it take? Just click the like button. That's all. It doesn't cost you anything. Did it cost you? No, you see, it didn't cost you anything. Just like it. Why don't you just like it? Just like it. Like the video, please. Come on. Come on. Like it. Share.
You believe those?
I
stats?
do believe it. I do believe the results very much.
But
Remember, I'm a market person.
Now,
I did forecasting.
here he's going to talk
market.
about the polls. I will be closing shortly, but before I do, as highlighted by Wills, let me see if I can scroll quickly to area where he talked about security, because I think for the first time that's very important that we understand what he's
From remote local governments in their farmlands, on their farmlands, traders in the cities,
Hold on.
different contexts were saying it. We're talking of when they're physically on the road. They are not crowds, for God's sake. They are
candidates have signed, except of course the APC presidential candidate who was represented.
There was some heroes past. We also have heroes around. General Abdul Salam, president. So I don't know what they will use the money for. The accountant general was kicked out of office. Nigerian naira has depreciated. Facts.
So let's yes, that's the point we talked about security. So let's have a listen.
And look, these are our brothers and sisters from the. Remember, I contested presidency in 2019, unapologetically. His Excellency Peter Obi was running mate to Atiku, who defeated us, and I was happy. Now, what are you saying that if it takes the APC route, you're saying 24 years?
And I want those from the Southeast to pay attention to his analysis here. He is making a case for the Southeast presidency now. And he's saying that if you look at it from the way it is within the APC, it's going to take so many years. If you look at it this way, it's going, I mean, it's quite interesting, the trajectory that he took that conversation this evening.
Humanly speaking, it will be, humanly speaking, 8 years of Tinubu, and humanly speaking, 8 years of Shetima. If it takes the Atiku route, it will be 8 years, humanly speaking, of Atiku. Why? These are brothers and sisters. Are they not Nigerians? Do they not have the capacity? Do they not know how to vote?
The people
Do they not know how to make policy?
Just the people of the Southeast.
Yeah. They know how to make it. Now, what the definition of President Peter Obi is that Nigeria has united. That unity, people don't really understand the context of it. Is that once you're happy and you've come together, you will walk towards one common national objective better. If it's to strengthen the economy, you will do better. If it's to fight insurgency and banditry, you will do it better. Not when you're disunited. Right now we're disunited, and that's why we're not achieving anything. And if it's fighting corruption, exposing all those, the moment we're united, we'll do it better.
So there's an image which was circulated on Twitter. I came across it first from the spokesperson of the APC. It was about
quickly
Peter Obi when he talked about the Constitution.
Exists. You begin to talk of constitution. It is not true that we have to.
So making promises now may not suffice.
All right, let me tell you this.
But I was leading you to somewhere, and that was the statement of the former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, recently when he talked
Nah, don't discuss Adams Oshiomhole.
Cost of that contract works service.
Okay, this is it.
Maximum value at minimal cost.
This is it. Hold on, let's quickly.
Let me go straight to answer. I will not be distracted by an individual like we are going to procure security.
That is security here.
Maximum value at minimal cost. Because none of us, nobody in our government will be involved in adding or padding budgets or any contracts. I am about, and Peter will be as well, the contract of whatsoever it is, being the original true cost of that contract, works, services, and products. Our armed forces will be served exactly with what if we spend 1 trillion naira on security equipment, gadgets.
Now, what I would advise us to do in the comment section, this has been shared. I would want and encourage you to go to Channels TV and watch the rest of the interview. It has been my pleasure to have you. Sadly, I have a meeting that I'm going to be chairing in the next 2 minutes, and I have to run. But honestly, there is a lot happening. And those of you in the United Kingdom, if you're in Texas today, you can go and join His Excellency. He's speaking in Texas today. Those of you in the United Kingdom, he will be coming over on Saturday to speak to many of you in Manchester. And on Sunday, he will be in London as well. So the event is a ticketed event. You can go head on straight to Eventbrite and get your ticket. On that note, I will say thank you. Thank you. I will be joining you again tomorrow. So keep a date with me. I will try as much as possible. It's crazily busy, but I'll try as much as possible to make more time, because this, I believe, is a very good point to always espouse. On that note, I say good night all and enjoy this music.
For better infrastructure, for better life, yeah, my people. For better roads, yeah, for better hospitals and health, yeah. For lights today, for everything to work for us, for Nigeria. No more hunger. Obi for better Nigeria. Obedient and useful. Obi obedient and useful. Obi for better Nigeria. Oh yeah, Obi get Hausa man, Yoruba man, Igbo man, Middle Belt, Niger Delta. Let us come together for better Nigeria. For better life, for better health, for better road. From consumption to production.